It's time. The Denver Broncos really need to bench this offensive player. Hello everyone and welcome to Denver Broncos Syndicate, part of the Sports Syndicate family of channels where we are dedicated to bringing you content about our favorite sports teams. I am your host, Gage Madrid. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed over the past couple of days. We are getting so close to our goal of 900 subscribers by our Week 6 kickoff against the Los Angeles Chargers. In Week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks, Denver Broncos right guard Quinn Meinerz ended up going down with a pretty significant hamstring injury and was replaced by Graham Glasgow. Glasgow was the former full-time starter at right guard, and this is his third year in Denver after signing a 4-year, $44 million contract back in 2020. As stated earlier, Glasgow used to be the full-time starter at right guard, but in Week 9 last season against the Dallas Cowboys, he ended up breaking his ankle in several spots, and later down the line, Quinn Meinerz ended up taking his job at right guard. Glasgow ended up returning to Denver this offseason on a restructured contract, and he ended up going into the season as our main backup interior offensive lineman, and thus he ended up getting pressed into duty right back at his old right guard spot in Week 1 when Quinn Meinerz went down. Unfortunately, Glasgow's play at that position has been less than inspiring, and overall the play on the Broncos offensive line has been less than inspiring. It's only going to get even worse now that our best offensive lineman, left tackle Garrett Bowles, is out for the season with his own broken leg. In fact, an article that I came across today on Mile High Report makes a very strong argument for the Broncos benching Graham Glasgow in favor of Netane Muti until Quinn Meinerz is healthy enough to play again. Entering Week 6, the Denver Broncos have 27 runs behind right guard, which is the third most in the NFL. However, they are only averaging 1.3 yards per carry on those runs, which is dead last in the NFL. When Quinn Meinerz is healthy, he is a very strong run blocker. That is one of the best assets of his game. So this isn't a problem when Quinn Meinerz is healthy. So that at the end of the day tells us that this is a Graham Glasgow problem. I was out at training camp pretty much every day this offseason, and based on what I saw, in my opinion, Netane Muti is a much better run blocker than Graham Glasgow is. Joe Mahoney of Mile High Report, who wrote this article, completely agrees with me. Muti is a much better run blocker than Glasgow, and Graham appears to have gotten worse as a run blocker year over year. The only reason that I can see for sticking with Glasgow so far is that he must be that much better in pass pro than Muti. According to Sports Info Solutions, Glasgow has blown 3 blocks on 185 pass blocking snaps so far this season, allowed 1 sack, and has been called for holding once. For comparison, he allowed 4 sacks and blew 8 blocks on his 240 pass blocking snaps in 2021. Meinerz was only on the field so far for 7 run plays, and the Broncos gained 49 yards on those 7 runs, 7 yards per carry. The shortest of those runs gained 3 yards. The others gained 13, 10, 8, 8, 5, 5, and 5. That means that when Glasgow is in the game, the Broncos have gained 513 yards on 125 carries, 4.10 yards per carry. It also means that every run for no gain or negative yards has happened with Glasgow on the field, not to imply that they are all his fault. The Broncos have had 23 runs this season gain 0 yards or lose yards. That is 17.4% of our rushing attempts. The article also goes on to state that if free agent signee Tom Compton were healthy, he probably would have already replaced Graham Glasgow at the right guard position. Unfortunately, Compton came into this offseason with a back injury, and it appears that he's still quite a ways away from coming off the PUP list. Hopefully, Quinn Meinerz is able to get healthy really soon, because if he isn't, the Broncos may seriously need to look at benching Graham Glasgow in favor of Netane Muti at the right guard position. Hopefully, if Miners is able to come back soon, he will be able to provide the Broncos with a spark in the run game, which has already had their fair share of struggles this season. I mean, losing your starting running back for the year is already going to obviously be a significant blow, but when your backup running back is struggling with fumbling issues and your third string running back has issues in pass protection, that can be a bit of a concern moving forward. Hopefully, new signee Latavius Murray is going to be able to provide us a bit of a spark there. He should be suiting up for his first game as a Bronco in Week 6 against the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm curious, Broncos country, what do you think the biggest reason is for our struggles in the run game this season? Drop those comments down below. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. And while you're at it, be sure to follow me on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL for even more Broncos coverage. And for now, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out and let's ride.